everybody, how are we? I hope you're all going well and had a great week. Starting placement this week, we have Alexia, Simone, Steph, Alex, Christina, Liz, Samantha, Sueda, Lindsay, Stephanie, Jackie, Kate, Samantha Listro, Christy, Belinda, and Sandy. Congratulations, everyone. I hope you have a fabulous prac. You must jump in and tell us about your first week. We're all very excited to hear about how you go. And we'll pop in here because we had a lot of people talking about their first week in here this week. So we just pop in. So in the discussions this week, we had a lot of people in talking about their first week. We've had loads of mentor-teacher discussions, which have been very, very interesting. Thank you for sharing all of those with us, and thank you for supporting each other so well through them. People have been using these icebreaker and getting to know you activities, which is fantastic. And the first day musings. Last week we had none. This week we have got tons of them, which is fantastic to hear how you're all going. So Vicky was very brave and got up there first. And we've had so many people like Kate and Vanessa and Kristen being so supportive. Carly was in here as well. She started, and Leanne, thanks for supporting so much. So good to have everybody in here chatting. Nerm was in there in her breaks, even though she was on placement, helping out, which is fantastic. Well done. So interesting how everyone's going. And Cody and Giuseppe, both of you had very, very interesting observations in here, which was great. And good to see you're really thinking. Now, one of the big things this week is I'm looking at Standard 1, in particular Standard 1.5 and 1.6, which are what we are doing. Now, when we look at Giuseppe's, Giuseppe has already identified, and I know he had at the mentor-teacher meeting, that there was a lot of diversity in his class. So 2 with learning difficulty, 2 with Down syndromes, 1 with recent trauma of losing a parent. So, and they're in puberty because they're year 5, 6s. So that is absolutely fantastic that he's observed these, and I can see he's trying to cater for them in his lessons, which will be perfect for his portfolio. So that's fantastic. All these people supporting, it's so good to see this happening. Well done, Jenny, getting your first week in there. And I'm sure you're all feeling very exhausted. So I'm going to keep this brief. People who are starting tomorrow are going to be absolutely shattered by tomorrow night when they get home to watch this. Grab yourself something to drink, just relax and enjoy it. And look at what everybody else has been up to and think, phew, I'm one of them. You belong. So Jessica and Michelle popped up today. Now they've been in there all week, but they've been so busy that they hadn't had a chance to post to now. And that is absolutely fantastic. Thank you for posting. And everybody jump in and support everyone who's out there because it's so nerve-wracking. Where's this? One of my biggest challenges that had me concerned was that my MT doesn't really plan. Now, we seem to have quite a few of these. And that's because we've got such experienced MTs. But just make sure they understand that you really need to be able to do this, largely because you have to be able to demonstrate this in your portfolio. And if you haven't got all the planning, it's very hard to demonstrate that you know what you're talking about. And then Michelle, who was so nervous on the first day and throughout the whole week, but you're still in here and posting, and that is absolutely fantastic. So well done. I'm sure we've got a lot of other people going out this week. So we'll all be here ready to back you and support you and share your journey with you. It'll be great to hear how you go. Now, this week, I'm just going to jump into the assignments quickly so you can see what we're discussing. We're discussing Standard 1, but I'm really focusing in on 1.5 and 1.6. Show you why here. Now, last week we looked at 1.4 and the ATSI standards, so standards for Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander students. This week we're really focusing in on 1.5 and 1.6, and these are both part of your first stage portfolio. There are a lot of standard ones in your portfolio because it's one of the more difficult ones that you can't really do until you get to the end of your teaching degree. Differentiating teaching to meet specific learning needs of students across a full range of abilities and strategies to support full participation of students with a disability. Now, for your purpose, you are only there for 4 weeks, you don't have many pracs. A student with a disability doesn't have to be a major disability like Down syndrome, like Giuseppe's got. It could be something like ADHD, dyslexia, dyscalculia, any of those sort of things count, or autism spectrum disorder, anything in those are absolutely perfect. So you don't have to have a full disability, just something that you can show you're integrating and how you're addressing those modifications in your lesson plans and your programs. Now, I'm going to pop over quickly to here. As you can see, I'm not using CDU tonight, I'm using the Excel standards. This is because I wanted to show you where you are fitting in the big picture. So at the moment, you're in graduate standards. And that's to get your provisional teaching registration from the Teacher Registration Board. Once you've done that, when you want to become a fully registered teacher, you need to display these proficient standards. Then if you wanted to become a senior teacher, you need to display these highly accomplished standards. And when you want to go into admin like a deputy principal, you've got to be able to do these lead standards. So you can see how the standards are building up and how you're doing these in your portfolio now, and they're the very basic parts of it. You might think they're really difficult, but they're basic. And you're getting those done. And then you're going to keep your portfolio so that you can use your portfolio to demonstrate as you build up through your whole career. So this portfolio is a basis for where you're going in your whole timeline of your career. Now, it's also got these here, and if you can see where you're going, you can see what is important to be collecting here. So demonstrate knowledge and understandings of strategies for differentiating teaching and meeting specific learning needs of students. So you can say the specific learning needs of the students across the full range of abilities. That means right through to the extension students. So how are you extending the students? And how are you building on all of these things? Just like how are you're supporting full participation to the fullest of their ability with the students with the disability. What are you doing? What modifications are you putting in place? So you need to look at these before you go on placement. And I know a lot of you haven't managed to grab your MT. If you don't, you need to get in there in the first couple days. Start getting to know your students because you need to know your students and understand them to be able to put these in your planning. And you only have 4 weeks to be able to do it. So it's really important that you find out the IEPs, you find out how your mentor teacher is catering for these differences, and then you get to know these students as quickly as possible so you can start planning for it. Okay, I hope that helps you understand that part that we're doing this week. I'm going to pop back over here now to this week's, well, wherever you're up to. I'm going to go on with discussion 5. We go down here. So inclusive teaching strategies is this week's focus. And you can see here you're meant to put up 4 different strategies that you think are great. I've made an including diversity Padlet here. You can add your 4 strategies by just clicking on this plus, and then we'll all be able to see all these fantastic strategies which we can quickly look up and find things that suit our classroom, suit our students. So it should make it a lot easier if we've got these strategies up here. So pop your 4 strategies in there and we should get a great bank for everybody to be able to use on placement, because those 2 standards that are in that first group that we need to display from this prac can be very tricky if we don't get onto them nice and early. So you need to identify those nice and early in your placement, work out how you're going to address them, have a look at all the strategies that everybody's putting up here, if ways of including diversity, see if there's any that work with what your mentor teacher's already got in place and what you're trying to achieve. Anyway, that's it from me. I wanted to keep it really short this week because I know we're going to have a lot of very exhausted people. Remember to get in there and support each other. The support is so important, and it's also about building those networks before you go out and become teachers in the real world, out on your own. Okay, have a fabulous week. Good luck, those people who are starting placement. Once again, Alexia, Simone, Steph, Alex, Christina, Liz, Samantha, Sueda, Lindsay, Stephanie, Jackie, Kate, Samantha Listro, Christy, Belinda, and Sandy. Let us know how you go. We're all very excited to hear about what happens, and we're all here to support you if anything's going wrong or you've got questions or worrying about anything. We're all here for you. Have a great week, and I will speak to you very, very soon.